The hardest all-terrain tire to find is not the most aggressive one. It is the one that can calm down on the highway, stay reasonably quiet, and still feel believable once the weekend turns into gravel, dirt, or a rough access road. That balance is harder than it sounds, because a lot of tires are easy to market as rugged and much harder to live with after 2 or 3 long interstate drives. That is the trap with all-terrain shopping in general. The category makes it easy to chase the most dramatic sidewall, the most aggressive tread pattern, or the brand with the loudest reputation, but those things do not automatically translate into the best ownership experience. So highway comfort comes first here, while the tire still has to feel trail-ready enough to deserve the all-terrain label, so the spotlight stays on tires that can calm down on the highway but still feel believable once the pavement disappears for the weekend. The right tire here has to make weekday pavement feel calmer without turning the truck soft or useless once the road ends. That balance is harder to find than the aggressive sidewalls would suggest. Stay with me, because the tire at the top is the one that keeps highway miles calm without giving away too much once the pavement ends. At number 5, General Grabber ATX lands here because it gives comfort-minded buyers a rugged-looking, practical option that does not immediately punish them on pavement. General offers the Grabber ATX with up to a 60,000-mile warranty, severe snow certification, and a 45-day trial. Its reputation is less about hype and more about honesty. Decent winterability, usable road manners, and enough durability to make sense for trucks and SUVs that work during the week and wander off pavement on the weekend. It suits drivers who want a believable mixed-use tire for commuting, weather, and light weekend dirt without paying premium money for every last bit of refinement. That is the kind of difference drivers notice after the first few thousand miles, when the daily reality matters more than the sales pitch. That value plus livability balance is exactly why it clicks for drivers who want comfort during the week without feeling undertired on the weekend. What keeps it from climbing higher is the 4 tires above it sound more intentionally tuned around highway calm or modern road manners. Anyone chasing quieter highway miles before anything else can still live with that trade-off pretty easily. The next tire pushes harder into that quieter, smoother lane while still keeping a tougher visual. At number 4, Nitto Recon Grappler AT lands here, because Nitto openly markets it as a quiet, comfortable, all-terrain, and that pitch fits this theme almost perfectly. Nitto positions the Recon Grappler AT as a quiet, comfortable all-terrain with a tougher visual than a mild road tire. That makes it especially relevant for buyers who want sharper style without immediately signing up for constant highway hum. It is not usually the deepest winter story in the class, but it is a clear option when appearance and daily manners need to coexist. It makes sense for buyers who want sharper style than a mild highway tire, but still care about road trip comfort, commuting manners, and cabin noise over the long term. That matters most once the tire has to live through commutes, weather swings, and all the unglamorous miles that expose a weak choice fast. That visual plus comfort split is exactly why the Recon Grappler stands out in this specific conversation. For anyone trying to split highway calm and weekend utility, that is a very believable mix. The only thing holding it back is the top 3 sound even more polished or bring stronger comfort credibility without giving up enough trail usefulness to fall back. That still leaves it as a very believable choice for the buyer it fits best. The next tire keeps that road-friendly personality, but feels even more mature and polished. At number 3, Yokohama Geolandar AT4 lands here because it feels like one of the most polished modern answers for drivers who want all-terrain flexibility without old-school harshness. Yokohama gives the Geolandar AT4 up to a 65,000-mile warranty on Eurometric sizes and 55,000 miles on LT sizes, along with severe snow certification. The tire is positioned around a smooth, quiet ride with real off-road durability, which is exactly why it feels so relevant in lists centered on balance, appearance, and year-round daily use. It is a strong fit for people who spend most of their time on paved roads, still care about a calm cabin, and only need enough trail or campsite capability to stay ready for normal adventure use. That is where a tire stops being a nice idea on paper and starts proving whether it actually fits the life of the vehicle. That smoother road emphasis is exactly why Yokohama earns a top 3 spot here. That is what gives it a clear audience instead of making it just another all-terrain option. If that is where your priorities land, this tire makes a lot of sense. The reason it stops here is the top 2 still bring stronger comfort momentum or a clearer road-first all-terrain identity. It still makes sense for drivers trying to keep weekday road manners without giving up weekend flexibility. One of those 2 is the broad all-rounder, and the winner is the true road manners specialist. At number 2, Falken Wildpeak AT4W lands here because recent testing gave it one of the strongest comfort and low-noise stories in the entire all-terrain class. Falken backs the Wildpeak AT4W with up to a 65,000-mile warranty on non-LT sizes and 60,000 miles on LT sizes, along with severe snow certification and road hazard coverage. What matters here is that testing and owner sentiment keep pointing to comfort and low noise alongside genuine all-terrain ability. It is ideal for buyers who want one tire to handle long drives, weather, commuting, and weekend dirt work without ever feeling like the vehicle has been turned into a rolling compromise. That detail matters because real ownership is about how the tire behaves after the novelty is gone and the ordinary miles take over. That matters because it means the tire is not just surviving highway use, it is actually competing there. That is why the appeal here feels specific rather than generic. That alone is enough to put it on the shortlist for the right buyer. It comes up just short because the Continental is even more clearly centered on quiet road behavior. That does not weaken the Falken case. It just shows how strongly Continental leans into comfort. At number 1, Continental TerrainContact AT lands here because no tire in this group sounds more openly built around quiet highway behavior and everyday road composure, Continental and Tire Rack. Both position the TerrainContact AT as an on-road, all-terrain first. It carries a 60,000-mile warranty and a strong owner story built around wet traction, ride comfort, and quieter highway behavior, which is exactly why it fits a comfort-first angle. It is the best fit for the buyer who hates road noise, values steering calm and wet road confidence, and only needs enough trail ability for weekend escapes rather than hardcore abuse. That becomes important once the tire has to deal with normal roads, rough patches, changing weather, and the kind of use no brochure can smooth over. That road-first focus is exactly why it stands out for drivers who spend most of their time on pavement but still want weekend flexibility. The comfort story feels believable because the whole tire is aimed at calmer daily miles, not just a softer sales pitch. At the top of this comfort and trails group, nothing else blends highway civility and useful trail headroom as cleanly. If quiet pavement manners matter most to you, Continental makes the strongest case. So the order comes together like this: General Grabber ATX, Nitto Recon Grappler AT, Yokohama Geolandar AT4, Falken Wildpeak AT4W, and Continental TerrainContact AT on top. Most people are better off not buying the most extreme all-terrain tire they can find. The real sweet spot is a tire that keeps weekday miles calm and easy, then gives you enough confidence to leave the pavement on the weekend without feeling under-equipped. That also explains why the right answer changes from driver to driver. Some owners care most about quiet highway miles. Others put winter grip, tougher looks, towing confidence, or long-term value first. Continental makes the strongest comfort-first case because it sounds most convincing for drivers who spend far more time on pavement than dirt, but still want real trail headroom. The best choice here is the tire that keeps weekday highway miles relaxed without leaving you second-guessing the weekend dirt road.